Trying to get everybody in. How's it going, everybody? How's it going? This is Deonte Burden, host of Changing Lives. Welcome to the show. Happy Thursday, everybody. We have an awesome show planned for you guys this week. Tonight's show, we'll be discussing should a man be respected as the leader of the house if he's not the primary breadwinner? Got a lot of traction and a lot of noise that came with, getting ready for this week's show. So I hope you guys, excited and ready to get tuned in with everything. Uh, if you haven't noticed, I'm at the lab this week. We had a little technical difficulty over there at the Misfit Media studio and everything, but as all great show soldiers, we adapt and overcome. And shout out to starting off, shout out to DJ Lab, my also producer, Slick 316, and also my super assistant Joni. We like I said, we're back in the fold next week, but I'm out here, Air Force One at the main base, getting everything together and stuff. So again, it's gonna be a great show. Um, Hope everybody been having a great show every week. Before we get started, shout out to Belvini Scotch. Junior fixed my glass for me. Put a little too much in there, but we're gonna move on with it. Um, I'm really excited about tonight's show because so often right now we talk about different dynamics of relationships and people have different discussions in terms of who's the leader of the house, who's the leader of the family, all these different gender roles. And I think with the biggest dynamics with a lot of single mother homes, a lot of women empowerment, things have totally changed. So people are making discussions and beliefs are things that have been from a traditional sense always the same way. But again, we can say one thing and feel one thing, but that's not what we're doing in terms of the dynamics of relationships. So I want to have a discussion tonight where we're talking about um, can a man be looked at, as the leader of the house if he's not a primary breadwinner? And we're starting everything off. I want to let everybody know anything here. This show just promotes discussion. So there's nothing here where I'm saying that this is how I feel or this is what I believe. We just want to have a good, healthy discussion where everybody's giving their personal opinions and views and everything. I hope we have a good discussion with everything. Before we get started, we always do rehash my previous week. And I guess before we even get started, we just got to take note of the coronavirus. I want to just, give everybody insight, stay number one, stay at home if you're feeling sick, you're feeling ill. I I can't remember in recent memory. I know, we had the SARS and H1N1 and, what was that? Merkel, whatever the little thing. I think little kids' heads look like little water drops and everything. What was that? FICO? What was the name of that, PJ? You remember? I know you didn't have it. But anyway, um, those were like the last kind of pandemics we've had in the world the past couple of years. But I think Corona has kind of stepped it up a bit and really the embracement probably by the federal government is probably kind of throwing a lot of stuff off because originally here the president saying it's not that big a deal, it's not that big a threat. The other people in powerful positions saying it is. So it comes down to who you really want to listen to, or who you want to believe. And then you have all these different events and festivities getting canceled. So now you got to have some kind of serious note. And then now we find out the schools are canceled and everything like that. And again, just be proactive. Take care of yourself. Wash your hands. Uh, take extra caution and in your surroundings, and just be hygienic. And everything because I want you guys to be healthy. I want you guys to have healthy families, and I want you guys to keep tuning in to Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Um, so just again, be clean. Avoid personal contact with strangers if you don't have to, and everything. This is a perfect time you don't want to get that person a hug or shake a person's hand you normally do. You ain't got to do it now. Blame it on Corona. So I think just be safe, people. Just be safe and use a good common sense with everything. And I think everybody be okay, especially in the next month. So I think we got some tough times ahead of us, and I think as long as everybody be proactive, we'll be okay. This past Sunday, I had my first official uh, workout with my football team. I was pretty excited about that. Had the kids in the fall. We had about 12 kids out there and everything. We got out there and did a little calisthenics, got back used to everybody, expecting probably, well, hell, with this damn corona, probably won't have anything going. But I think we're going to increase the numbers and stuff. It'd be interesting to see how everything now is affected and everything. I'm just thinking about that right now. But it was good to have the kids out there, get to see each other. I really missed the boys, over the past couple months and everything. But that was cool to get everybody out there. Uh, Knee deep past that midpoint of tax season. Um, this tax season's been pretty unique. As all you guys know, I went to a mastermind class by a guy named Chauncey Hutter back in October in Phoenix, Arizona. And I gathered so much information. And when I got back, I made a conscious effort to apply a lot of the principles that I learned at the mastermind class to my business. And I went real heavy with a lot of stuff in November and December. And I'm seeing the fruits of all that labor coming into effect right now. And I can just tell you right now, just in terms of being applicable for what I learned in the mastermind class, a lot of times when we see certain things, thinking on the fence about taking new chances or learning new skills to get new information because we may be comfortable in what we do. And we put in a situation where I do things different that may possibly bring us a lot of success. We may be a little hesitant because we're kind of comfortable with what we do. And I'm here to tell you, you're never going to keep ascending if you're always doing the same thing, because if you're always doing the same thing, you're going to kind of stay at the same level, even if it's a good high level. But when you start making changes here and there, or put yourself in situations where you can acquire new knowledge and new information, even though it may be uncomfortable, that will push you in another stratosphere. So I'm very, very proud of myself because I was hesitant for the longest and kind of watching this guy from a distance before I went out there and paid that money to go out to Phoenix to get the information. But I'm super glad that I did because those principles have, man, exploded our business. And we've always been doing okay, but now we're doing okay. So it's been pretty good. So I'm real proud of myself. We're proud of the staff who got Majestic Business Services and more the words of Don King, only in America, baby. So want to get ready for tonight's show. And tonight's show is gonna be pretty cool because when you think about again those dynamics of families and relationships and how everything's went over the years and stuff, those are kind of things that I think that that's very crucial with in terms of how people operate in regards to the different dynamics of the family. Hey PJ, y'all do it in the Facebook, I need it in YouTube and everything. I was talking about my son PJ. He's doing the producing and working the chat labs, tonight. So if you go into any one of the live feeds, that's PJ doing that and everything. So he's in working the Facebook page for Changing Lives tonight. So that's him doing the produce. Most of it's usually 316 doing it, but I got P on the ones and twos taking care of that for me tonight and everything. So make sure I want an active discussion in our groups and everything. So please chime in and everything. If you got any questions, just fill them in. PJ, you get any questions for anybody, just let me know, okay? Just raise your hands and pause for me. But super excited about it. But again, you hear right now, especially, with a different community, especially in the Black community, we're looking at what 70% of most households single, most of Black kids born out of wedlock. Most of your family or the household is being led by women, and so you do have these couples or dating or married that are together in the same household. It's a unique dynamic now because it's not the same mama and grandma from what we grew up with. It's now mom has a career. Mom isn't just kind of watching dad doing his thing and she just adds her little bit to it, or dad's paying all the bills and mom may come and just stay home all day. Those days are over. We're in a new era of house husbands or super women that are actually starting companies, running companies, selling companies, and just running this world right now. And again, I want to just make this and I'm not gonna make it too many times before we get rocking and rolling with everything. I'm not trying to sit here and put my personal views. Just want to have a live discussion with everyone in regards to everything to kind of keep the conversation going and on. How people feel about different dynamics or different roles that we'll be speaking on with everything. Again, this is Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden, and make sure you go to the Facebook and Instagram, Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. Same thing there. So I hope that when you go to the YouTube channel, you'll be able to see the different videos. I think we have like 170 videos listed right now. So we got a lot of great information. Been doing this almost 2 years and stuff. So make sure you go to the Facebook, Instagram, or the YouTube channel. Put in Deonte Burden, Change the Lives, and everything should populate from there. Now, when we're starting everything out, I'm going back into my history uh, in regards to looking at couple roles and everything like that. And I remember back in late 90s, I was in Fort Hood, Texas. I had my little girlfriend that I was staying with. It's all pre-wife and everything. Pretty lady too. She was older, real nice lady, real cool and everything. Bless her heart. And I guess I was her little young tender. And we were, I was living with her. I was in the military. And I just remember, we going on, we work, for the army. We get off work. We go back over there because I was staying with her. Me and my buddies, we playing a little not Xbox back then. I don't know if it was Nintendo or whatever. But we played the game. We got the Madden going and everything. I got 4 or 5 of my boys. We all early 20s and stuff like that. I think she was like 30 something years old and everything. And this was an everyday occasion. Leave, go to work. Me and the fellas come over there and play video games. She come home, cook. I'm just a kid. I know I might have her aggravated as hell, but I felt like I was the man because I'm in the man. I'm living in her house. She made the doors open. Hey, baby, this is your place. This is my place, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, cool. And I just remember that day, uh, me and the fellas over there playing the game. We got the football tournament going and everything. She comes in. I don't even know if I said hey when she walked in. I'm like, shit. Excuse me, somebody give me the remote, or get out of my ear or whatever. And she walked in front of the TV, stood in front of us, and said 4 words that I never forget. She said, "Get out my shit." Yeah, you heard it right. She said, "Get out my shit." And so right then and there, my buddy's looking at me like, I thought it was your house too. And like hell, I thought it was too. So she done sit there and just told me to get the hell out of her house and everything. She was just tired, and everything worked. You come home. It wasn't like I wasn't paying any bills, I wasn't contributing, but I was a kid and I thought like a kid and moved like a kid. And one of them days she was tired and everything. And from that point, that did a lot to me in terms of probably not want to have my guard down. I just thought you welcome me into your house and everything. I didn't know anything about gender roles or anything like that in terms of a household or anything. I was like, I don't know if I was 21, 22, 23, I was still a baby. But that did something to me in terms of, what I owned or what I didn't own, what I perceived to be mine and what really was mine. What I was in terms of being her man, the man, a man, you know, that all kind of just hit me all at one time. And I don't want to say it caused anything like but trauma, but it did cause me to rethink a lot of things about how I move. And I can tell you this from that point forward, I've never been in a situation my whole life where I didn't have, you know, uh, enough cars, enough places to stay where anything could happen to me. I could feel like, okay, I'm out here, just don't have anything. And that really changed. I would say changed me for the better with doing it. And it's probably a good thing it happened to me when I was young to be in that kind of situation where like you thought you had something, but you really didn't. And that's kind of like one of those things in terms of this show. Even though I wasn't an older, mature man and stuff like that, but I was a young man that felt I was probably bigger than what I was. But she brought me back to earth to remind me it was her shit. And I never forgot that. I never forgot that. And that's probably one of the things that I bell cows that I always kind of push with my sons, that your stuff, her stuff, y'all stuff, uh, unless it's legally one thing, their words, their words, because emotions and stuff can, change everything. And it just takes somebody one time to say something like that. And once it's out there, it can never be taken back. So that was one of the things that stuck with me in regards to everything because from that point forward, I was very, very aggressive. I always make sure I have my own stuff. I had no problem with sharing anything like that. Even with my wife, we'll try to build stuff, but I never was going to ever let my God have anybody put me in a position again where they can tell me get out of their shit. And fast forward to where we at today in today's roles, we have a lot of different dynamics now with again, those gender roles and how women do things and men do things and stuff, they're definitely totally different from when it was what we grew up with. And that's why I want to have that discussion because when I put those polls up this week and ran the promos, there were a lot of conversation. And we'll discuss that later in the show in terms of what people felt and what people do and also, saying one thing and believing one thing. I think those are two different things, and I think that's why it's great tonight to try to have that healthy discussion in regards to what how everybody feels, and what you really believe, which are two different things and everything. But some people may not see it that way, but I can tell you, I love you and I care about you, but my behavior is a different kind of way. That's what we really go off of. People don't necessarily, the easiest thing I think say something, but when you have not been acknowledged and your behavior is totally different, people really don't recognize that. So that's why I wanted to kind of touch on tonight with everything. Again, it's Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you go to the Facebook channel. Um, Also, Changing Lives. And check me out, Deonte_B on Instagram. Got a lot of great information, a lot of good videos coming down the pike. And I want to make sure you guys are locked in to see everything. And also, when you go to the YouTube channel, you hit that bell for the subscription. When you subscribe to, make sure that bell rather so you get notification when the subscriptions come in, okay? To kind of give a little background information, what I wanted to revisit was just give a little quick historical data when we look at gender roles and as far as relationships and everything. Um, let's kind of go back. We started looking about historical roles when it comes to families. Um, when you look back in the past, especially we start looking at grandparents and great grandparents, gender roles were clearly defined. Pretty much I'm the man, you the woman. That's it, right? Men work, and the women stay home, raise the kids and everything. Um, it wasn't the whole thing of just knowing women rights and how they cared, how they thought. That's just the mama. Not saying men didn't love their wives, but it was just pretty much damn near like property, and everything. But that's what the men raised. It wasn't really a lot of emotions and stuff like that with men and their children. It just that was their era. They worked. The women loved the kids, raised the kids and stuff like that. And that's how that was. It wasn't nothing a lot of dual stuff going on and stuff. And that went on for a while. A woman may have an opinion, but about a particular thing, but a man still made the bulk of the decisions. And like I say, this probably go back to those era we looked at, past probably a lot of our parents and maybe grandparents and great grandparents. So I'll just say we looking at those times of 1960 back, possibly some of the 70s, but at least the 1960s and prior to that and everything, those just hard gender roles where it just wasn't non-conforming or anything like that. Y'all got to excuse me. We got the phone going and stuff like that and get a chance to unplug everything prior to and everything. So, but this is a little added sound effects we're going to have in tonight. But I'm sorry about that. But also, I think a lot of those things kind of maybe have changed during those World War One, World War Two eras when you had women, possibly getting opportunities to work because a lot of men were going to war and things like that, and women had to get some kind of income in to kind of sustain the family. So that's probably like the initial inception of women maybe even going to work or trying to get some wages where they were kind of like just any kind of comparable to men, even though it was less and stuff. But it still went down to a basic premise that men made most of the money, and with that, they made most of the rules. And our country may have been some set up as a democracy, but your household wasn't. And at the end of the day, what I say goes, or it is what it is. And I think that's how a lot of things were uh, uh, set up for that. Um, Again, it's changed a lot. Hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Okay, so now we look at some of the changes and what brought about some of the changes. You look at going into the 1960s, you had a lot of your women's liberation movements and things like that. Those things brought about some things in terms of um, women finally get a chance to or have an opportunity to have a voice about certain things. Those were when women were able to finally get an opportunity to speak their mind and say different things and do different things. And those led to a lot of opportunities for women to finally get out of the dark, get out from behind the image of uh, stuck behind their significant other, and have that voice finally to speak. And with that said, I don't necessarily know if a lot of couples or families were really prepared for that, and everything. So you see, I can having a little technical difficulties over here with the Facebook. Trying to get this up and running. Bear with me 1 second. And we can get this back up and running. Okay, get the Facebook back up and running. Um, yeah, that live streams off for a second. But again, those 60s where you had the women liberation movement, there being the creation of birth control, some sexual discrimination cases, women's employment rights, all that stuff was coming out. You had the some of the family disbandment with welfare and everything. This kind of affected a lot with the black community where men can live in the household with the female if they were actually getting some kind of assistance or help. And a major thing, especially in the black community, you look at those late 80s and 90s, that crack era was rough. And that's a time where I think a lot of people really don't talk about. And I think personally, people don't talk about the crack era outside of rap songs a lot. And which I think probably the most important part is economically and psychologically, the crack era affected black people. Typically, especially you stay like in a city or something like that, you had someone that was very close to you that probably was addicted to crack cocaine, be it your parents, your uncle, auntie, somebody like that. And people don't talk about it because it was such a traumatic time. Because if you had a parent or something like that, I need to speak for myself. You had a parent or something like that that was hooked on crack cocaine. You've seen some stuff that was, very sadistic, sick, traumatizing, and all kind of stuff. And you kind of want to get away from it. And I hear so much with the music and stuff where they talk about the crack house, the rat trap house and all that kind of stuff, but they never talk about the real trap house or the real crack era, what people had to see in terms of the trauma that it inflicted on family. And I think that, the 80s and 90s, that affected a lot of change in terms of the dynamics of the family and also men and women relationships. We lost a lot of fathers during that era to being addicted to drugs and crack cocaine. We also lost a lot of younger people going to prison behind it. So you got all your men, especially from the black community, from 35 to 70. That's two generations that we lost of education, uh, uh, raising your family, leadership. That's a lot we lost. And, we've done a good job of recovering, but I just think people, we really don't acknowledge that time or give it a proper, proper acknowledgement at all that it should, because it made such a negatively profound effect on our community and stuff. But I think that was a major thing to happen, because what happened with that, women were put in a position where they had to raise children on their own and really redefine how their roles were. A woman forced, man going to prison, She got these boys by herself and everything. The boy selling dope. The daughter out here want to talk to the dope. All that kind of stuff happened, and it forced a lot of stuff in the man. If you ain't there to say what's going on and stuff, or hey, to be that leader, she out there by herself. Hey, you can only do so much on the phone from jail, and I think that had a very, very, very huge impact on a lot of families in the late 80s and 90s. We can go back and forth. Not even say we have to even go back and forth about who caused it, who did, or anything like that happened. But what I'm just saying, it happened, and we're dealing with the residual of it now, and everything. And I think that's probably one of the biggest changes with that. Again, tonight we're talking about, should a man be respected as leader of the household if he's not a primary breadwinner? Who first did a little historical conversation about some different dynamics of roles, gender roles between the man and the woman in the past. Then we went to say some of the things that brought some of them changes about that may have, put women in different situations. And I look at where we are right now, it's a whole different dynamic. And what do I mean by it's a whole different dynamic is that the whole spectrum of view on females right now has totally changed. I think it still wants to be the perception or the idea that the man is in charge, the man leads. But everything we see is the women leading, right? U.S. Census data saying 47% of U.S. workers are females. Also says that women own close to 10 million businesses right now. 10 million businesses account for $1.4 trillion in receipts. I mean, you turn around everywhere you go right now, you're looking at women empowerment, this, sisters in that, women leading this, women, in charge of Fortune 500 companies and all that. And right now, you got a lot of men taking a back seat to that. And does that affect how, the perceived role of how a family should be operating? No. But again, you got to be realistic about, again, that lady told me, that young lady, she's a sweet person, get out her shit. She told me get out her shit because it was what? Her shit. Again, when we look back at those older dynamics, men had the money, men had the power, so men can make the rules. Now, women got the money, women got the power, and they also got all the other stuff that we want. So you know what? Now they're making the rules. You remember? I remember the historical quote from DC Cab. Women got half the money and all the what. Say always gonna be in charge. Oh man, I mean, what DC Cab? That late early 80s or something like that, and everything. But I remember that quote. Women got half the money and all the coochie, boy, and they always gonna run the world. And that was one of them things, guys. So this new dynamic has came about now, and a lot of times I don't think people want to necessarily embrace it for what it is and stuff. But hey, it's different and it's here. Women are the primary or sole earners for 40% of the household for children under 18, and 50%. This is the U.S. data information also. 56% of all students nationwide are females. Okay, why do I say this? We can look at it over and over and look at it several different ways in terms of how we feel about certain things. But if the women are the only ones, starting businesses, they're the main one leading companies, they're the main one getting educated and doing this other kind of stuff, it's kind of hard. Well, it's easy for you to open your mouth, but it's kind of hard to have the kind of leverage to sit here and say, well, I'm the leader, I'm the this, I'm the that. And you're looking like, okay, she's coming with all the credentials. And I'm not trying to say what's right or wrong. I'm just trying to say it is what it is. I had one brother, he said, he's put a post on there in regards to, what was he saying? That, just say somebody comes into the house or somebody does something that, the woman will want to, say, where's the man at and everything. And, again, I was just reading the post, but I can just tell you right now, women don't care. These women got guns now. These women's at firing ranges. These women, again, it's damn near dynamic. Where I feel like sometimes women are raised with and there's nothing wrong with it, to have such a sense of uh, what's the word? I'm about to say that's out of context for that, but just with such a they don't such a sense of security for themselves, they don't necessarily need another person to carry them. They're coming up like, look, I'm gonna do this. They're so confident and everything. I'm gonna get my education, start my business and stuff. I don't need a man for that. If the man comes in, he has to be at my level. Now, I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm just saying again, it is what it is. And if you have majority of the men coming to the table, they're not at their level or whatever. That's when we have some of these new dynamics. Women are dealing with men. Some sisters dealing with white men. Some of the sisters are women dealing with other women, and just all kind of stuff. And it's not an issue what's right or what's wrong, but I think the advent a lot of this is because I think a lot of women feel like they ain't got so many options and everything. And I was really looking at a lot of some of the responses in terms of some of the young ladies were saying different things in terms of, I feel the roles shouldn't be affected because if the man, it doesn't matter if the man isn't making the kind of money or he isn't the primary breadwinner, that it shouldn't matter. And I think that's cliche. I think a lot of people say that and everything, but in their hearts, I think that when times get rough or anything like that, different things come out. It's one thing if you're sitting there, you're, you might be trying to, man, you might be trying to improve yourself, get a new skill set, go back to school, and your old lady, she kind of, picture carries you for a little bit or anything like that. But if you're in between and can't do this or can't get anything that's stable, the income may not necessarily be um, um, helping, and she may feel like she's carrying, even though we sat down and said for better or for worse. And sometimes, again, can be worse. We can go back and forth with um, spiritually, it shouldn't be this, it shouldn't be that, or these are the roles to extend. I mean, we're in 2020 now. And I think that once we get away from certain things, we're heading in this direction. Sometimes you gotta be realistic. You gotta be realistic. And it's one thing, and I talk about this in videos. I am the father of 4 sons, and I preach a lot to my children. Make sure you're equitably sound. And what I mean by equitably sound is that at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with your significant other making more money than you. Nothing wrong with it. But she has to know that if you break up, you can take care of yourself, things will be worked out. The moment that that young lady feels that she is carrying you or you're a financial hindrance to her, y'all gonna have problems. If she's making 100,000, say you just throw out hypothetical numbers, you're making 50, and you can take care of yourself. She's making a lot more than you, but you can take care of yourself. If y'all split, you can take care of yourself. Y'all work a lot of stuff out. Won't be no problem. But if she sit here, got you, and you wearing his apron every day, and she's making all these bills and stuff like that, you gonna have that get out my shit moment. It's gonna come. I'm just telling you, it's gonna come. It's going to come. It is going to come if it ain't came already. I'm just saying, guys, just make sure you're in a situation you can always take care of yourself. And that's one of the biggest things I try to hammer with a lot of folks. Everybody don't agree with me. Sometimes you can be in a position where you let your guard down. You feel like, hey, everything's cool. We're good and everything. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about that. Sound good. But again, you don't want to have yourself in a situation where you've totally forgot about taking care of yourself. Doesn't mean you're being a leech or a lazy guy or you're living off her or anything like that. But sometimes love and relationships get you in a position where you forget about you a person too and everything. And it's not that difficult to get that comfortable. Especially you got somebody they got everything covered, everything taken care of and stuff like that. I seen a lot of guys, Shawty got it straight, Shawty's good, Shawty's straight, we good, we got everything. And then Shawty get tired. And Shawty wants to go in a different direction. And she's going here, you're going there, and you guys to go. And it happens all the time. So I just want to kind of give that advice in terms of just make sure you can always take care of yourself. This Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to the videos. Got a lot of videos going and everything right now. We're still kind of hovering at that 2,400 subscribers mark. So, guys, I really need you guys helping me out, sharing these videos, telling your friends subscribe to the channel. Listen to a little bald head man with a gap. This is all the good information he's putting out there and everything. But I do want to say I really do appreciate all the support we've been getting so far, especially with the explosion of the followers we've getting on Facebook. Really, and I know a lot they got to do with Slicks 316 being very aggressive with helping with the growth of that and everything. But I appreciate you guys for clicking on and checking out the views and stuff. We really want to get these numbers on the YouTube channel up. My first offer is slated to come out tomorrow. I got a whole youth program I'm going to be pushing out. I'll be talking about that at the end of the show. So that's one thing I did. I meant to say earlier in the show when I was rehashing my previous week, but I'll talk about that a little bit more later. When we go into the next phase of the show, I just want to really hone down. Now we're going to go into the nitty-gritty of these relationships in terms of men and women and everything. I was just looking at all the different responses, and I looked at what the women were saying and what the men were saying in terms of what they felt relationship. And women were, when I put it out there, should a man be respected as the leader of the house if he's not a primary breadwinner? Most women say yes, but most women say yes with a catch. Yeah, if he's working. Yeah, if he's paying bills. Yeah, if he's being a man. Yeah, it was always something. It was never just yes. Men, on the other hand, their answer was just yes. No damn, and I'm not saying that you had to have additional information in regards to why you felt that way, but it was just straight up yes. I'm the man, I'm in charge. It's what the Bible say, and that's how it goes. But you can see really it was a lot with the women, the female responses was attributed to a lot of it, I think, from an equity standpoint. That, yeah, if I feel like, okay, we're doing this. The man's just like, it don't damn matter. I'm in charge. I'm the man. I'm the one that pee when I stand up. You got to listen to me. And I think that's where a lot of clash is coming in right now. And again, in its most simplistic form, and these are the same information I just sit here and tell with my sons, a lot of kids I coach at the youth level, especially growing up. More women getting educated. These young ladies are coming out here right now. They're getting all that kind of stuff, and they get all the credentials and the education and stuff. Does that qualify you to be the leader of the house? Absolutely not. But what it does is it creates people, young ladies that are secure. They're really, like I say again, they ain't necessarily feeling like they need anything else from somebody because they're actually getting their own, and everything. Starting businesses left and right, and not necessarily they're starting businesses. I ain't talking about they selling pies and cakes. These young ladies today, my God, they're starting some of the most dynamic small businesses all across the globe. Where millions of dollars are generated, and they form in different chains and groups and support channels and groups. They're causing each other to grow and everything. It's awesome. They have their voice now. They got their voice. Women got their voice now. As much as you sit here and look at a lot of stuff with the Me Too movement and stuff, we say what's fair, whatever, you're right or wrong, but they didn't have that 30, 40 years ago. It wasn't no damn Me Too. It wasn't on Me Too. Hell, it wasn't even on me. And the power that women have right now, man, it's amazing in terms of that. So they got their voice. They got their money. Because again, that's all going to school. They the ones starting the businesses. They're the ones that going in these companies, going ascending up the corporate ladder. A lot of even your smaller companies and stuff like that. When you're looking at in terms of management standpoint, the women are in charge, and especially in a lot of traditional male-dominated industries, construction, building, banking. A lot of women are surpassing a lot of these men now, just being in some of these leadership roles in these companies. So we have their voice, they got their money. And you know what comes after that? You got your voice, you got your money, you got your what? You got the power. And it's hard to sit here and tell somebody what you're gonna do if you got no power. Okay? She got her car, she got her own money, and she got her own place to stay. And you want to say, okay, I want to do, I'm the man, I'm in the relationship, this is what we're doing and everything like that. Is she supposed to listen to you and everything, be fair and stuff like that? Absolutely. But is that going to happen? Is that going to happen? Well, look, I know I'm in going between things. I ain't got a car right now. I got a roommate and stuff like that. I'm trying to get it together. But she got her car, she got her house, she got her money and stuff like that. Will she not talk to you or date you? Not saying that. But will she feel like, okay, I'm in a more superior or authoritative role? Most times that's what's going on. I was looking at one of those shows, I think, I don't know, Love Hip Hop and all. I don't know the damn show, but I know K Michelle's on there, and she was talking about, I think the guy she got pregnant by or whatever. Like, she was like, look, I'm making a little money. I can. She said specifically, he was a basketball player. She said, I made more money than him, and I felt like, okay, I can take care of stuff, buy him stuff, and I can be in control, and he just do what I say. And that's the thing about it. Just off the rip, she makes the money. He just take what she give him, be her little boy toy, to hang out, sex, do whatever she want to do, and he just do what she say. And she seen then she still can damn control his ass, even she paying for everything. But it was just amazing, just some of the dynamics where this is a young lady that got all her stuff together. She's looking like, look, I don't need nobody to tell me. I got my own. I don't need you for that. And I wouldn't even necessarily say it's selfish or wrong or anything like that. Typically, you get in positions like that because of things you didn't have. If you had a lot of things handed to you, not handed to you, but facilitated for you, and you was in an environment where you didn't necessarily have to struggle to get certain things without help, you may be a little bit more open to bringing folks in and helping them and everything. But if you're in a situation where you actually got to build and get everything your own, you ain't too quick to do that. And you definitely, if you're a young lady, I can see wouldn't be so quick to bring a dude in and give him the keys to the car or something she done built. Of course, you have instances like that, but for the vast majority, nah, that ain't gonna happen. That was one of the things that I noticed. It just seemed that looking at those responses, and even I had a lot of interaction with some of the people that were responding back. How do you feel? Why do you feel that way? Why you felt that way? A lot of the men, well, majority, I'm thinking, I don't think none of the men responded back why they felt that way. One brother, I think he said it was biblical. That's what the Bible says. That's the role. But women could go damn in depth about why they felt like, okay, it's cool, but he got to do this or he got to do that. Some were older and they were saying, okay, that's just how things are. And that's cool. But like I said, I think a lot of that stuff is cliche in regards to, people feeling a certain way and moving a certain direction with certain things and stuff like that. I just think that was one of them things that people, until you go through it or anything like that, you really don't know. And I think that's one of the major cases what was going on with those dynamics. And we talk about the different gender roles and everything. And I think it's going to be real interesting to see going in the future how the different roles are going to be working, because again, being the father of 4 young men, and I push my kids to be progressive. I push them to be leaders. I try to be a good example of a father, husband, or what I try to do. I'm not perfect or anything by far, and never try to push it. That my way is the best way or my way is the only way. But very been, like I said again, been very adamant over the years with my sons. Make sure you got yourself together. And I am looking at a lot of young men don't have their stuff together. Again, and what I mean by have their stuff together from a psychological, uh, educated, most importantly, probably economic role. It's not necessarily you have to be in a situation that you make more than your significant other, but just being able to take care of yourself. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that's kind of hurting or missing right now with a lot of relationships. That be just dating, that be maybe marriage or anything. There's not that economic balance where it's too one-sided in regards to it, even if it's kind of like that 60-40 in terms of everything what's going on. I think a lot of things can be functional from a 60-40 perspective. But once we got to going to the 70-30, 80-20, regardless of proportion of income, that we're gonna start having problems because again, that's when it goes to the thought process. Am I helping this person or am I carrying this person? So I hope we had a healthy discussion. I hate we weren't in the it seemed like we had a good conversation tonight, but with us not being in the studio, I didn't get the traffic that I thought would probably be coming in here and everything like that. And it got to be something that I'm doing in terms of with the stream and everything. So I'll work on that, just try to get even have more live feeds and see what's going on with that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the nice discussion. What we talked about again, should a man be looked at the leader of the house if he's not the primary breadwinner? Feel free to continue to leave comments and continue to give feedback about the discussion and everything. Again, you change live host by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, I haven't mentioned already, go to Mr. Short Dollar on YouTube where we talk about personal finance, business, entrepreneurship, and real estate investing. We put a lot of work into Mr. Short Dollar in the past couple of months when we launched it back in December. Try to give you guys a lot of information, especially you guys that are future or current small business owners, a lot of things to kind of help you. And also help the individual from a entrepreneur and most important personal finance perspective, putting that information on. The thing that I want to bring up to everybody, I have a program that I'm going to be sending out tomorrow to all the youth coaches. I got a program that I've perfected over the years to actually help with funding for your youth programs. But I'm initially going to give an offer out to everybody, just to teach, the different coaches, team moms also, regardless of actually football, basketball, baseball, how to in the most simplest form, just teach you guys how to do a budget. So I'm going to be putting that information out, blasting it out tomorrow, so you get heads up on that. This is my first course that I'm doing, so I'm super excited about that. A little nervous and everything, but I'm happy I'm able to do it. But again, 2 or 3 years ago, I know I necessarily say I'll be hosting a YouTube channel, so I know it's nothing in the world that if I want to do, I can't. I'm not able to do because I feel that confident in myself, and I think you guys should be too. Rehashing about what we talked about earlier, please stay careful. This coronavirus seems very serious. I think we're gonna go to some kind of nationwide quarantine soon. So I just want everybody to make sure they're taking care of themselves, taking the proper measures to not put yourself in harm's way, wash your hands, using hand sanitizers and stuff. Staying away from them sick folks. See a man sneeze, a lady sneeze, get the hell away from them and everything. And just take care of yourself. Take care of yourself because again, I want you guys to live safe, healthy, happy lives. Take care of your family, love life, and love changing lives. Hey, this is Deonte Burden, host of Changing Lives. I really appreciate you guys tuning in this week. Make sure you tune in next week. Got an awesome show planned for you guys next week. Hell, I don't know how things are. Might have to be streaming live from here again and stuff. But I hope I'm gonna reach out to Lab and 316 later, see how I did. I know I didn't have the same thing that they did and everything, but I'm hopefully I kind of kept them proud, what I had to do and everything. But again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the support. Love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Get the Facebook back up and running.